All right. Awesome. Well, um, we've saved the best for last. Our closing keynote speaker is absolutely fantastic and amazing. And I can't wait for her to come on. And it's definitely my pleasure to be chatting with her again. Hello,
Hi.
my darling. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good. I'm really excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Me too. Absolutely. Well, it's my pleasure to introduce you. You're just incredible, and I'm proud to call you my friend. And it's Rachel Katz. She's the founder of Rachel Katz Jewelry. She started her jewelry line after a successful career in advertising, commercial real estate, and entertainment. And her pieces are bold, powerful, and timeless and sophisticated. It combines vintage detailing with modern geometrical forms, and each piece is handmade in Los Angeles, and all diamonds are hand set. And I love my piece. It's my Wonder Woman cuff. I wear it so much, and I love it. I feel extremely powerful wearing it. And thank you so much for introducing me to your jewelry. I absolutely love it. So since you started, actually, numerous celebrities have felt the same way. They sported your pieces, such as Chrissy Teigen, Michelle Obama, Jennifer Lawrence, Taylor Swift, Jada Pinkett Smith, Julia Roberts, Gwyneth Paltrow, and Scarlett Johansson, just to name a few. Your designs are an absolute hit, and thank you so much. Welcome. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Great. Well, all of you ladies in attendance, please drop in the chat any questions for Rachel, and we'll try to get to them during this segment. But I'd like to kick us off by talking about, I'm sure that many of the women here didn't know that you didn't begin your professional career in jewelry, and, actually far from it. Considering your amazing success, I love the story of how you kind of fell into this. So, would you tell us a bit about your story and how you got into jewelry?
Sure. Yeah, it's definitely a unexpected trajectory. So I graduated college in Boston with a degree in finance, and I went to work for .com startups in the late 90s and early 2000s, doing e-commerce and all that kind of stuff at the beginning of the internet. And then I moved out to LA after the initial tech bubble burst, worked in entertainment, then I worked in commercial real estate for about 10 years. And during that time, I had a necklace of my mom's from the 70s that is a very large brass pendant, similar to your bracelet. And I would wear it all the time, and people would stop me and ask me about it. And one of my friends begged me to find somebody to reproduce it, because she thought I could sell them. And, it was a really cool piece. And so I did. I spoke to some friends, and a friend of mine with a handbag line introduced me to his hardware fabricator, and he was able to reproduce the necklace for me. And so then I started coming up with other ideas, and my friends from my .com days offered to build a website for me. And I have friends that are graphic designers and models and photographers, and everything just sort of fell into place. And I had this website, and I was in a corporate finance job, and I never would have ever thought I had a creative bone in my body at all. And I really liked what I started doing with the jewelry, and it was fun and interesting to me. And I was really unhappy in my job. And so I was on vacation, and I thought, I'm just languishing, and I just feel like I'm dying a little bit every day in this job. So I have to do something else. I can't quit my job. I've made one $300 sale, so it's not like a great idea to just up and leave for that. So I thought, all right, I'll find another job that's in something a little bit more creative. And I got back from my vacation, and I got laid off. So it was
Sign from above,
just
probably.
forcing me into doing, into this direction. And I thought, okay, well, at the time I was making brass jewelry, and kind of a low margin, low price point. And I thought, you know what, let me just give this 6 months. And originally it was under a different name. It was called Moxie. And I started going to some different women's entrepreneur or networking or mentoring groups. And someone suggested I do more fine jewelry and change it to my name and all of that. And I did. And here I am. And it's been 8 years. So it's it was something that 8 years ago, if you had told me I'd be doing this, I would never have imagined. So it's been a true unexpected turn, but very like just a complete dream. So
yeah, but it also seems like, just your background really kind of prepared you for this in a way that I don't think you were expecting.
Sure.
I
Yes.
mean, you built up your relationships and, in entertainment and in tech and in finance, and, that all sort of seemed to have really kind of come together for you in what you ultimately, wanted to do, and that was what you were passionate about. So, I mean, I think that many entrepreneurs don't start out that way. Just like you, they rather find their way there. So, what advice do you have for those who are interested in starting their own business or a new business, and they're just not sure where to start?
Well, let me preface this by saying before I was into this venture, I wouldn't necessarily have called myself an entrepreneur. So it was definitely a learn as I go, and really trying to find as many resources as possible. So I have a few pieces of advice or insight that I share with people when I speak to them about this. One is to seek out people that have done it before you. It could be in your exact product group, or it could be in a comparable, like for me, I'm in luxury products. So I could talk to somebody that's in jewelry, which I did. And then I can also talk to people that are maybe in the same store, the same shelf space as me, whether that's apparel, other types of accessories, fragrance, high-end consumer products. So I spoke to entrepreneurs, and what I thought was most important is to listen and to be humble about it, and to really, because there are so many gems out there and so many experience that people have already had that are to be learned from. And also to look at someone that's like 5 years ahead of where you are, not someone that's 20 years ahead of where you are. So to look at, a brand that's been out for 20 years, it's like, it just seems like such a far chasm to get to that. So what I think is you can speak to someone that's a few steps ahead of you, and you can see what you need to do to get to that next step. And then it feels much more attainable, and you can easily plot out your path. Setting expectations, I think, is a really important one, and something I've definitely learned. Being an entrepreneur and having a business is a definite, for me, was a huge learning curve. And so it's something that it doesn't go like this. So growth in my business, most entrepreneurs, there'll be a little bit of up, then it'll go back down a little, then it'll go up some more, and you'll be feeling really good, and then something will, some other
definitely a zigzag
thing, and then but you're incrementally getting further along. It just doesn't feel like a straight path. So just to be compassionate and to understand and to have your expectations set so that it doesn't feel like a kick in the gut every single time, or a lot of self-doubt, things that I have experienced. And I've also had really great mentors and a business consultant and people like that help me through those challenges, and also remind me that they're not permanent, and that's just the nature of the business. And so that could either be the people that you've spoken to already, or hiring someone that's an actual business coach. I've done both. Let's see. Yeah. And also that things are cyclical. So like for me in my business, or really learning your business and understanding it. So there are certain times of the year where revenue drops off, and certain times of the year where it really, really spikes. And so just remembering like, oh, right. Okay. In August, things get really quiet, or, Mother's Day is, like starting in April, things really, really ramp up. So, just kind of being aware of those cycles, and to just remind yourself so you don't have to be on the roller coaster. And then the last two, which I think are super important, are don't be afraid to take risks, because you will be rewarded. No risk, no reward. And my favorite one is leap and the parachute will appear. So it's like you just really having faith in the fact, or really trusting in the fact that if my experience is when I have taken risks, I met whether or not I can see what the outcome will be. Generally, I can't at all. It usually ends up as something positive or some great learning or that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, definitely, that we often don't trust our instincts, and just to take those risks. We're all very driven. We're all very smart. We're not going to lead ourselves in the wrong direction. And, maybe we might lead ourselves a little off course, but I think that we always kind of have this plan and we know what we're doing, even though we don't feel like it.
Totally. I would also add being open to things that are just being open to other options as well, because there are things where I used to think like, oh, that's the retailer I should be in, or that's the thing, or that's the one, but then when that didn't work out, or there was another opportunity, that person was a better partner for me, or it took me in a different direction that was like way better than I would have been. So just being open and getting into the flow of it a bit.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. And, speaking about like the highs and the lows, can you tell us a bit about, what was your lowest point in your business, and and how did you get past it? And what's been your proudest moment in your career?
Okay. So my lowest, and I can just feel this viscerally. I remember I was in Jackson Hole and I was doing trunk shows there, and I had a couple of days of just nothing. And my bank account, I had $2,000 in my bank account, and I was just like, oh my gosh, oh God, what am I going to do? So I called my coach and he said, just trust that it's going to get better. And within a day I sold $20,000 of jewelry, and it just put everything cash flow back into the business and all of that. And there are times where, just the swings are so huge, and, that was early on, but I was just I don't know what I'm going to do in 2 days or next week when I'm out of money, and just getting to that point, but then immediately having all these big sales after that, and kind of coming out of it and trusting that that did actually, would work out. And also, if it doesn't, there's always something better, is what I believe. And whenever I've gotten laid off from a job, or, things hadn't worked out, something better always comes up. So, that's been my experience. And so my proudest moment, I have three. So just the fact that I'm doing it is and I'm, been going at it for 8 years, and it's something that brings me so much joy, is incredibly, I feel incredibly proud of. And the fact that I'm able to do it every day is such a gift. I did have, early on when I hired my publicist and I started doing celebrity, I had one celebrity, and then there was nothing for a minute. And then I had one, and then the next weekend, Emma Stone wore something of mine, and so I went online to look at the event, and then I saw J-Lo was at the event, and she was wearing, I was like, I think that's my ring, she's wearing my ring. And then the next day, Swift wore something. So that was just a crazy, I was crying. I couldn't believe it. I was, so honored. And what trumps all of that is, I would say, just the work that I do with people and working with clients and seeing them just so happy and feeling beautiful. And that to me is my proudest moment. So just, celebrating and, having that jewelry is a very celebratory, joyful purchase for people, experience for them. So it's just having them put something on and feeling oh, I look great, so that is what I love the most.
Yeah, it really is such a powerful experience. Putting on a piece of jewelry that you absolutely love, and it kind of is a perfect segue to a question that I had about, like, your inspiration for your jewelry. What is your inspiration, and how do you want a woman to feel when she's wearing your jewelry?
So I was initially inspired, and I wish I pulled it out for you to show you this crazy necklace. It's very different from my current aesthetic, but it's a big chunky piece that's very textured, which I loved. And so that was sort of the kickoff to it. But what I really love is mid-century architecture and like clean lines and like very modern shapes. And like I love the structured 1960s like very constrained lines, but I love like 70s hedonism and glamour and all of that. So it's a pairing of the two, where with that combo, and then also things that are modern but timeless, and I'm sorry, modern but classic, and then also timeless but not current but not trendy. So that are my those are my inspirations. And then as far as like, as you can see, this is very 70s, and I just took a turn.
I love the lariat. It's beautiful.
Thank you. And then the way I want people to feel is when I first started out, I was doing like very chunky bracelets and very strong pieces, and I felt really confident. I felt like Wonder Woman when I would wear them, or really bold and strong and confident. And I just want someone to feel like sexy and beautiful. And that is, that's how I design it for myself to feel. So I hope that my clients have that same experience as well.
Yeah, well, this one does, for sure. And, a couple of comments from Leona. Wow, that's very inspiring. Laura Honeycutt, yeah, I can definitely see the mid-century influence on your work, Rachel.
Thank you.
So this is very exciting, because I would love to, if you could show us a couple of your bestsellers and perhaps maybe a couple of new hot items that you have out.
Sure. So we'll try this over camera here.
It's over Zoom.
So bestsellers, this is actually this is my cage ring. This is one of my absolute favorite pieces.
Yeah, that's my next buy.
It's a good one. It's a definite bestseller. And then that also translated into the cage bracelet, which I love, and the locking bracelet. And they actually have like a little closure on it that locks, so you can take it off, but it locks on you like a love bracelet without having to use a screwdriver.
Yep. So and they're all and you have them in white gold, yellow gold, and rose gold.
Rose. Yeah. And I also, I want to design for a range of price points as well, and I want it to be as accessible as possible for people. So I do a range of or tastes, none, a little, a lot. So it's like no diamonds, a little bit, a lot, and then there's one that's even more. But so everything comes like with stones, without stones. Some have a little bit. You could do sapphires, black diamonds, lots of different color options. So those, and then this is one of my favorite bestsellers here, this necklace, which is called the medium triangle necklace. And it's just like, that's got a little bit. And then I make one that's all diamonds, and I make one that's plain, and it's just like a really awesome layering piece. And
I mean, many of your pieces are just so awesome to layer.
Thank you.
It's an investment in you.
Yeah. Well, their design.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
It's an investment. I mean, it's well worth it. I mean, they're beautiful pieces that are never going to go out of style.
Thank you. Well, this lovely little shape here, I love. It's so mid-century. Marquee hexagon shape. And then this one, again, it's like everything's designed. It's got multiple jump rings. You can layer them. You can, I like to wear lots and layer lots, but you could also just wear a single piece. You could wear multiple pieces. So I find that to be really fun. And then some other little, like, I have things like little earring studs and, all kinds of fun things. Some of my newer styles are, well, I'm wearing a couple of them. These confetti necklaces, which I love. They're, these are two different ones, but more is more. But oftentimes I just wear them individually.
But I just love the whole like like the 70s influence
So
of
it's
the
got like a lot
jewelry.
of movement, and I have an earring like that.
Those are gorgeous.
And one of my my summer styles. This is, I do a lot of ombre. I don't know if you can see, but it's pink, like light to dark, or yeah. And then a bit of orange as well. These ones that have like the ombre. I don't think you can see it that great on here, but yellow and orange, and they're really fab. And then also just another little colorway here. And shape. But then this one, in terms of rings, I've got, this one is a super favorite. It's called the chess ring, and it's, I can't really tell, but it's black and white. So it can be worn white diamonds, black diamonds, or
love that.
like that. And again, this is one of my classic shapes, that marquee.
Oh, I didn't realize that it's kind of interchangeable. You can wear like the white and the dark. I love that.
Yeah, or you can get it all one color if you want. And then I'm doing these as well with like dark blue and light blue, or pink, or yellow and orange.
Ooh, dark blue, Wendy, for us, for our logo.
And then just the last, my last favorite is this combo of these cigar bands with some diamonds on them. I have actually ombre ones as well, and then this baguette cage ring, which is like this. I love.
Amazing.
I love it. Rachel, I don't know if you can see the chat, but you've gotten so many compliments.
Oh my God. Thank
awesome
you.
Pieces, very clean design, even though they're bold. Awesome pieces. I love the boldness of these pieces. They are balanced, not overwhelming. I love it. So you're getting a lot of love here.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So in one question quickly before we unfortunately have to leave you.
Yeah.
Is from CP, when you are artistically inclined, how do you know that your business is going to work initially?
You don't. I mean, truly, it's something that I found, there are no guarantees. So it's like, I also, another piece of advice that I give people is, if you do something you love, the money will come. So if you're passionate about something and you show up and you take the steps and you do the work, like this may sound very LA of me, but it's like, I feel like the universe conspires to really support you and that kind of thing. So, or at least that's been my experience. And there is no guarantee, but I think if you're passionate about it and you just do the work and you just do one step at a time, you'll get there.
Yeah, just keep moving forward. Oh my goodness, Jessica Villegas, I don't think any story has resonated with me more. Love.
Aw, thank you.
Yeah. So, love the light to dark. Jennifer Davis, absolutely beautiful pieces. She's also a good friend of mine from Boston.
Oh, hey.
Jennifer
Katz.
Mercado. Yes, the universe supports you. 100%. Take action. The rest comes.
Absolutely.
So
Sure.
Thank you so much. This has been so amazing. We can find you on Instagram at Rachel Katz Jewelry.
Yes.
And
also my website. But I also wanted to, I created an offer for Boss Talks. So a 15% offer discount. And it's Boss Talks 15.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you
really
so
appreciate
much.
being here. So thank you guys.
And it's I'm going to put the your website on here.
Awesome. And my name is Rachel.
Yes, I know. There's several different Rachels on here. And,
yes.
There were different
Lots
spellings.
of ways. So thank you so much. I really appreciate being a part of this, and thank you.
We're so happy to have you part of it. I'm sorry. Is it? But what is the code again? Boss Talks 15.
Oh, it's Boss Talks. And
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thank you so very much, Rachel.